Hi Dmitry, it's very nice to see these new essays from you, so let's get right into this video correction. Okay, let's see, the topic is copyright laws. Let's see what you had to say about this. The issue of copywriting has grown in importance over the last few decades. This remains as a contentious matter, so people have different opinions regarding whether copyright law is a positive development or it merely limits creativity and should be abandoned. The essay will argue that copyright law should be acknowledged as a positive development for society as it stimulates creativity by regulating legal and economic aspects of intellectual property. Lovely. I just said that really fast, but I actually understood everything and it was actually quite lovely. So, for a long time, experts from the industry have discussed how copyright affects creativity and inspiration. However, I take a stance, maybe the stance would have been better here, that legal regulations in this area are not only rewarding for authors, but also stimulate because it's referring back to regulations, but also stimulate unique creativity. It is a foregone conclusion that it is tough to make money for artists. Well, no, it is tough for artists to make money is the right syntax here, because they produce something that has no direct usage but has cultural value, no only. In this case, copyright regulation can protect an author's property from being stolen and make a basis for a lucrative business. This will stimulate talented artists to create even more art that is unique. For example, recent government studies from the EU show that the art market has seen a rise in 38% since the implementation of the EU regulations in copywriting. All right, that was nice. I liked that. Moreover, many people admit that the recent century is a century of, well, not really creativeness, but how about creativity? And that is why I believe that copyright regulations are vital both for the modern economy and the modern society. In fact, not only, okay, here's an example of inversion. So not only is the art industry subject to copyright law, but almost every production, especially in the IT industry. The abolishment of legal regulations might cause dramatic consequences on the market. I'm just thinking to the market, but okay, this is fine too. For example, two major IT companies, Apple and Samsung, have constant disputes on their patented constant disputes over their patented know-how, and they have a legal way to interact with each other. Therefore, regulations are vitally important for the modern economy because they help to protect intellectual property and stimulate competitors to be creative and not to copy already discovered technologies. Okay, fine. In conclusion, I believe that copyright is a positive development of the modern era because it financially stimulates companies and people to be more creative and sets an order in the intellectual market. It is expected that copyright will eventually become a natural part of legal systems all over the world in the future. What a lovely essay. I really enjoyed reading it. You can even see, maybe it's my own little personal test, but if I read it really quickly and without effort, for me, that's a sign of an essay that is, for the most part, well written because I don't have to stop, and basically it flowed very nicely is what I'm trying to say. So it was easy to read, and that's a good sign. So it was a nice essay, well done. There was some little grammar things, but nothing that can't be corrected fairly easily, I believe. So let's look at your Albion University letter now. Dear Sir or Madam, we don't typically write an E here. I think this is actually a French spelling, so no, in English, just take off the E. I'm writing in regards to the recent letter that I received from you about my absence in the exam. About my absence on the exam at the University of Albion. Okay. First of all, I would like to issue not abject apologies. And this is just it's all a little too much and it's a little too unnatural, okay? So, first I would like to express my apologies that I failed to inform you about my absence on time. I promise that this will never happen again. Please find a photocopy of my student ID attached to this letter. Hold on. Okay. My case number is this long thing here. Okay. To process my case, I would like to give you some details about what happened that day and why I failed to present evidence on time. The day before the exam, I felt ill, and as a result, I was taken to the local hospital where I was diagnosed with severe food poisoning. There's no there. During the next week, I was in the hospital without any chance to inform you about my illness. Okay, you don't really want to say it is no need to say. What the expression you want here is actually needless to say. Needless to say, this exam has great importance to me, as the exam results the exam results form 35% of my annual GPA. I would like to ask you to reschedule the exam date for me as an exception. Please find a hospital receipt copy attached to this letter as proof of my hospitalization. I look forward to hearing from you as soon as possible. Yours faithfully, Daniel Brown. Okay. So, you apologized? Yes. You identified yourself? Yeah, more or less. You had a case number and you said that you included your student ID. So, all right, fine. Although I would have liked it if you had actually just said your number, because it does ask for it here, okay? Take a look at what I'm looking at. Then you did this as well, and that's fine. But let's look at number 4. It says possible resolutions. So, how many resolutions did you apply? 1, really, just that you want to resit the exam. Yet, the essay asks you for possible resolutions. What am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to say that you probably should have added at least 1 more resolution. Okay, this is where General Task 1 is very tricky. They do this all the time. Something like ask some questions. Well, some questions doesn't mean 1. It means ask more than 1. So these are the kinds of things, these kinds of like tricky little words that you have to be really careful with Task 1, okay? On the whole, though, it was a nice essay. There were some areas where I didn't really agree with your word choice, but we've already talked about that. So what you need to do now is you need to correct these essays. You need to add all of the errors to an error correction list where you kind of keep track of the mistakes that you've been making so that you can improve upon them. And then you need to send all of this back to us with your new essays. This, of course, should be done within the next 24 hours or so that you can, really apply everything you've been learning. All right, so well done. I was happy with these essays. It was quite well done. So keep on writing, and I will be waiting for more of these from you.